and over time it gets sorted out. And if we had a fair, free media, then the people who are telling the truth and building followings and such over time would get positions in that media. But as I said at the beginning of this video, they're not interested in the profit motive. They're not even interested in getting viewers. These are blogs and vanity shows for billionaires. They're interested in using it as a pipeline to control and alter what the populace thinks. And that is not the role of journalism. As a journalist, all I do is report the facts and then provide my opinion based on additional research. You can disagree with the opinion. You can even disagree with the facts if you want to. You can independently confirm these facts that I put out in these videos. But the mainstream media is not doing that. They're not providing facts, and they're not even providing fair commentary. They're providing a narrative, which is a nice way of saying it's become propaganda. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I don't know how this got so fucking long. I was hoping to do a short video. But this is 1 ounce of pure gold. And I got this from Gold Money recently. They shipped it to me. And I'm going to continue to plug Gold Money whenever I remember to do so, because it's such a great service. And so many of you have already sent me positive stuff about it. What's interesting is I always expected the collapse in trust to hit currency first. In other words, I thought that we would see hyperinflation and loss of confidence in the dollar and the euro as the public realizes that these are currencies owned and controlled by unelected elites. I always thought people would go, oh, okay, this makes sense, this is crap. You know, the euro only was launched in 1999, and the US dollar only was taken off of its last remnants of gold linking during the Nixon administration. Not that long ago, right? Like 46 years ago. So go back in your time machine to ancient Rome. Imagine you have a time machine. Go back 2,000 years, okay? In ancient Rome, even if you have a bunch of US dollars in your pocket or euros, nobody's going to accept that because those political currencies don't exist yet. And so all that is to those people in ancient Rome are a bunch of useless rectangles of paper. So you have a US dollar right here, a genuine US dollar. Just a rectangle of paper. There's an annual print order, and it gets printed up by a company that I believe also has stationery and greeting card contracts. But this contract is not to make greeting cards, it's to make rectangles of paper. And there's some Latin gibberish on the back, and the all-seeing eye to let you know how fucking controlled you are. And that's really it, right? That's all it is. So go back in your time machine, and now you're jumping ahead 500 years from today. So 500 years in the future, and this is equally invalid and useless. Because I have no doubt that a society of human beings on the planet Earth 500 years from now would not value a scrap of paper from a political establishment that might not even exist 500 years from now, but that will certainly be in a different position financially, because this is issued by an entity that is $20 trillion in debt. and again, in 500 years, I don't think people have a notion of dollars or euros. The euro is already falling apart because the eurozone is falling apart. But gold will likely still be valued because of its rarity and its industrial uses. They say that there's about 30 milligrams of gold in every modern smartphone. It probably varies a little bit, but about 30 milligrams of gold. And that necessity of using gold in high-end electronics is not going to go away anytime soon. Gold is also an excellent absorber of radiation and heat, one of the best conductors of heat, the best conductor of electricity. So 500 years in the future, in some ultra-modern space age, gold might actually become more coveted. And of course, in the ancient world, ancient Rome, gold and silver were money. In the Bible, gold and silver are mentioned as money. The usage of gold and silver is really astonishing. It's like a 6,000-year track record where they've always been recognized by somebody as money. And even today, in our brainwashed world where we think this is good money and this is just a barbaric relic, even in that twisted world, gold is still one of the largest markets out there. About $70 to $80 billion of gold trades every day around the world, and the global gold market is worth more than $8 trillion. That's a lot of money. So this is the free debit card that gives you. I'm trying to cover up some of the numbers so I don't get immediately hacked. But it's a MasterCard, and very cool. They send it to you. It's free. And then the way this works, is that when you buy a gold balance at Gold Money, and you can start with only 10 or 20 bucks. You can make a $10 deposit if you want to, and just play around with it. I'd recommend playing around with it until you're comfortable. But you make a deposit using a credit card or your bank account, and then you're buying at the market rate plus their very small fee. Right now, they have a promotional fee of 0.5%, which is pretty low. When you think about buying this coin in a coin shop, I'd pay 5 or 6% over spot price. Spot price meaning the market price of gold metal. So this would cost me 5 or 6% more than the actual value of the metal in here. With Gold Money, I'm only paying 0.5% over spot price. And then you have real grams of gold sitting in an insured and protected vault. Their vaults are protected by Brinks, the famous armored security company that banks use to move money around the world. So it's sitting in an insured vault. You can pick which city. They have a bunch of choices, Hong Kong, London, New York, Toronto, etc. So you pick which vault you want your gold in, and it's real physical gold. It's not a paper certificate, it's not a stock, it's your gold in your own name, and it's allocated gold, which means if you want to sell your gold balance, or even part of your gold balance, and then pay a little, handling and shipping fee, the gold will be mailed to you. I got this within just a few days of requesting the redemption. So you're not buying notional currency. You're not buying an ETF. You're buying actual grams of insured metal sitting in somebody's vault. And the second you sell it, they will push the fund on MasterCard, or they can overnight the money back to your bank account. So it's such an advanced idea because the way they did this, when they launched the service and then as they grew it, they spent millions of dollars on research and legal stuff just to make sure that it could be done legally. And the way they do it is using bailment law. So bailment law are the series of laws that protect you and that govern the interaction when you hand your car to a valet guy, okay? So you have a really nice car, you go to a nice restaurant, and the valet guy takes your car and hands you a ticket. He doesn't now own your car. He doesn't just drive off with it into the sunset, and he has your nice sports car. If he does that, the law goes after him. He's broken the law. But he's allowed to look after your car while you're in the restaurant, and he's even allowed to park it for you and to bring it back out to you, and that's all governed by bailment law. So that's how Gold Money works. It's truly your money. It's truly your network. They're only taking a 0.5% fee when you buy or when you sell, but it's real gold and it's yours, and the average person just can't afford to build their own vault and to have it protected by Brinks 24/7, or they would do that, right? It would be a great way to store money. It's just most of us can't do that. So Gold Money has been around for, I think, about 15 years, and started as a way for mostly very wealthy people to store gold and other precious metals. And since then, it's expanded. BitGold was one of their subsidiaries, which was they rebranded recently, and all the BitGold people were upgraded to a Gold Money personal account. But it's honestly one of the most phenomenal financial breakthroughs I've ever seen, which is why I don't mind shilling for it. I'll put a link to them in the description below. Sign up. It takes 5 minutes. Play around with it. You will not be disappointed. And I like Bitcoin a lot also, but the issue with Bitcoin is that it's only 7 years old. So if there's a problem with the code, or if it gets hacked in the future, or even if governments outlaw it, which these are all very improbable things. I believe in Bitcoin very strongly, but there's no doubt that a 7-year-old technology is riskier than a technology like gold that has existed for 6,000 years. And I call it technology. I sound like a nerd. It's just an element. It's a natural element. So this can't be hacked. This can't be stolen unless somebody physically steals it from you. It's good money. It's been good money for 6 millennia, and we've been brainwashed over the last 46 years into thinking that these dirty scraps of paper are money. Now, do I have a problem with paper money itself? Not at all. The U.S., about a century ago, was one of the economic centers of the world. Now, why is that? A bunch of different reasons. We had a lot of land. There was a lot of expansion, a lot of mining, a couple of gold rushes, a big gold rush in California, for example. But really, the reason why the U.S. prospered, I would argue, is that we had very good currency. When you had a U.S. dollar, it said right on there that it's redeemable for gold or in some cases for silver. And the reason why people were using U.S. dollars is that it was convenient. Of course, it's convenient to have a bunch of these in your wallet versus a bunch of heavy coins. But the redeemability was always there. A dollar was basically a claim ticket on the gold that you had earned. And then, of course, Nixon, being the massive elitist he turned our money into New World Order 1984 funny money, which is issued by Janet Yellen, but it's backed by nothing at all. Nothing whatsoever. It's a joke. And then the other thing Nixon did, of course, was to criminalize cannabis use and the usage of other psychoactives. I think in part because when you start to smoke cannabis, when you start to expand your consciousness, it becomes more obvious that as a person who only lives for 70 or 80 years, as a person who wants to enjoy life on this planet, why would you trade your labor for dirty pieces of paper that are constantly losing value due to money creation, due to inflation? Why would you do that? Well, when you're a scared little puppet who's barely getting by, and you're only a paycheck away from homelessness, you don't have a lot of time for these higher level thoughts. You might know that this is a scam, but you still know that you need to make a certain number of these by the end of the month and shove it into the ATM machine, or you're going to get kicked out of your apartment or home, right? So there are a number of people in that position, and I'd argue the elites want us in that position. They don't want people who've expanded their minds. They don't want people who know what real money is and develop a taste for acquiring real money. They don't want that. And they also don't want people who are financially independent. That's part of why they keep us on the teat of these worthless currencies, is once you own gold, you really own it. It's debt-free money, and it can sit in a vault for years. Gold is becoming more rare in the sense that they keep digging deeper down to get to it. There's a mine in South Africa now. They have to go down 12,000 feet to get to the active, the gold vein that's down there. 12,000 feet. So it's so hot down there due to the pressure that the surface of the rocks they touch, the miners touch, is about 150 degrees. It's like being in hell. So that's how hard you have to work to produce gold in this modern day and age, where there's such high demand coming from China, coming from India, where their cultures both value gold. Even the middle classes own gold as a personal finance strategy, as a kind of rainy day fund. And again, as I said, the world requires gold as well. 30 milligrams of gold in this smartphone. So, it's totally fascinating stuff how we've been brainwashed. And you can get really sad and angry about it, that we've been misled, that we truly do have some people in D.C. who are members of a satanic cult, that we truly do have these people known as globalists who are billionaires, who don't care about Americans, don't care about Europeans, don't care about nationality. They just want this global marketplace where workers can very cheaply be acquired. They want you to just spend the rest of your life in a Foxconn factory or in an Amazon distribution center, making these handful of elites rich, and they want to do it with as little protections for you as a human being and worker as possible. That's what globalism is about. It's very ugly stuff. It's very ugly elitist bullshit. But now we know this stuff is real. So me as a researcher, would I rather know how the world is actually structured than begin to improve upon it? Or do I want to continue to live in the Truman Show and be told on CNN that everything is great and peachy when it's really not? When we've been brainwashed into believing this is money, when we have leaders who are in a fucked up satanic cult, when we have a media that is totally dishonest and is nearly trying to get us into World War III. Props to Putin, by the way, for being so level-headed. America under Obama has been like that who undergoes some kind of change, either a relationship change or they lose their job, and they just get totally schizo for a while. And yet Putin has just been so calm and level-headed. Here, Hillary Clinton has pushed us to the brink of rhetorical nuclear war with Russia, and he remains calm. I like that. Thank you guys for watching.
You're watching the David Seaman channel on YouTube and Vimeo. Be sure to subscribe below.